Hi, Brett. It's so nice to have you on the show today. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Happy to be
Be
here.
beautiful. Same here. And like I mentioned earlier, thank you so very much for being here. And you see, Brett, oftentimes I love to thank my guests for two main things. And I do this so often. You see, I think it has even become an anthem because I say it often. And that's because I feel like it is important. So, firstly, Brett, I want to thank you for investing in yourself. You see, you are on this platform right now because you invested in yourself. And oftentimes, I love to make reference to the amazing mango tree. You see, some months back, Brett, I was on a particular road, and just by the roadside, there was this tall, unattractive mango tree. And I use the word unattractive because the mango tree's got no mangoes on it, and the leaves were all dry. I just walked past it. But you see, Brett, just recently I was on that same road, and this time around a lot's changed about the mango tree. It caught my attention pretty good from a distance, and I got the urge to move so close to the tree, of which I did, and it wowed me because now the mango tree's got a lot of mangoes on it, beautiful green leaves and healthy branches. You see, not just mangoes, but ripe mangoes. It was a beautiful moment that day. I just kept staring at the beauty of this tree and the fruit and the leaves. It was amazing. My point is the fact that you dedicated your time, energy, and resources to becoming the amazing person that you are today. That alone has made it really impossible for me to skip you. And that's why you see I reached out because I was attracted to the fruit of all that you're doing, your insights, your philosophies, the impact all of these things are having. It is amazing. So thank you so very much, Brett, for investing in yourself. And secondly,
Thank you.
yeah, thank you for saying yes to the invite. Because if you had said nope, there was nothing I could do about it. Thank you so much, man.
My
Beautiful.
pleasure.
Yeah. So let's get started. I am quite excited to have you on the show today, Brett, for some reasons. Firstly, my interest in knowledge seeking. I believe in order for one to transition from a terrible situation to that of a beautiful one, I believe it takes the application of knowledge. And not just knowledge, but the application of it. And you see, Brett, ever since I discovered that light in the Hebrew means knowledge and darkness means ignorance, I've been so keen to knowledge seeking because I do not want to remain in the dark. So that's going to make our conversation today very, very important to me and even to the listeners. The second reason why I'm excited to have the amazing Brett on the show is for the sake of the listeners. You see, Brett, we live in an age where information is as abundant as grains of sand. We've got lots of information flying out there. So these folks trust me for quality, eye-opening, and powerful, good information, of which I'm totally convinced that our conversation is going to be insightful and impactful. So for that reason, Brett, let's get started with your introduction. Talk to us about your personal or professional journey. We are just so curious right now. We want to know how Brett got here. Then afterwards, I've
Sure.
got some really beautiful questions for you. Okay, Brett, over to you.
Yeah, so I am originally from Texas. I grew up in Southeast Texas in the States and was one of four boys who I really was kind of the odd man out. When I was a little kid, I knew what I wanted to do. When I was 6 years old, I wanted to be on Broadway. That was my goal. That was the only thing I wanted to do. And I lived my whole childhood dreaming, but also at the same time doubting that that was possible because of where I grew up and the ideas that people believe having an artistic creative career is like. I took action towards making that possible, and I lived for 25 years working on Broadway, did 8 Broadway shows. I was able to be an actor on television and film and sort of surpassed the dream that I had of having that long-term creative career, but I still adopted some of that self-doubt and was really working very hard to overcome that in spite of my success. And that really led me to wanting to help other people and other artists understand that having a creative career is 100% possible if we can let go of what society tells us and take action towards making it possible and having a really clear vision of what you want. And I became a certified life coach and started helping. I've helped hundreds of artists and creators build their dream careers, and continue to do that through social media and through my online coaching programs.
That's amazing. And you used one of my favorite words, help. And you say folks who dedicate their time to help others genuinely, just like you're doing, I feel like they are really, really important to this world, and they are very powerful. Because what makes a great leader is not the fact that we've got a lot of followers behind him now, but the fact that he empowers them to even become greater than he is. And so when you offer solutions to folks who are in problem now, that's you empowering them in your own way. And that's amazing. So you mentioned social media, all right. And I love the fact that from age 6, you've got your things right. You know what you wanted. Okay. And that was what I lacked. I was sure of mine until age, I think, 15. Yeah. So let's pick the first question from you. Okay. So let us talk about content. How do better stories make content more engaging? Get it?
Yeah. Yeah. How do better stories make content more engaging?
That's right.
That's the question, right? Yeah. I mean, honestly, storytelling is the thing that I think most people forget when it comes to social media, because they're thinking about sales, they're thinking about followers, they're thinking about numbers and like insights. And the truth is, like, no one really cares about you on social media. They're consuming content for themselves. And so the goal shouldn't be, I mean, the goal should be to connect on a greater level. And the way people connect is through stories. It's through vulnerable situations, relevant, relatable content, things that people can go, oh my gosh, I feel seen right now. That person gets me. And then the byproduct of that connection is sales. The byproduct of really building those relationships online is getting more followers. But when you are stuck on the numbers, you're going to always be frustrated because you're going to forget how to really connect.
Got that. I got that. And that's not so correct. We've got to be very, very intentional about creating relationships. I got that. So, why is courage important in content creation?
The most successful people who create content online are the ones who are willing to share not just their credibility and what makes them unique and successful, but also their vulnerability, the thing that makes them who they are. And that is the scary part for some people, because it requires that vulnerability. It requires you to have an opinion and be willing to not be liked. And the truth is, like, you don't even like everybody. So if your goal is to be liked by everybody, you're just going to be beige. And the more you can really share your vulnerable side, the more you're going to actually deeply connect with the right people who want what you have.
That's right. And that's very insightful. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, so for folks who might be listening and they say, okay, Brett, I got it. Content creation, I've got to be courageous and share some vulnerable side and all of these things. Okay, how then can I never run out of content ideas? You've got any tips or insight? What would your response be?
Well, first off, you can download, I have a free calendar that's on my website, 365 days of prompts that can help you never run out of ideas for at least an entire year. But I think the most important thing to remember is that stop trying to be unique, right? You are already original. You were made original, and you bring an original point of view. So leaning into what's already successful online and then bringing your own spin to that is going to be the most powerful way for you to find your voice, because and to grow your following at the same time. I think so many people are stuck on, well, I don't know how to do a talking head video, or I don't know how to I want to do that thing that's so original. Well, look at who's doing it successfully and recreate it yourself, because it's going to be received so differently by your audience when it comes from you.
Brilliant. That's so true. Okay, what do you think might be holding people back from being creative? Like, what might be holding people back from creativity? Let's say as to this content of a thing. You get it?
I think the biggest thing that probably holds people back is fear, what I call FOPO, fear of other people's opinions. Because other people are going to have opinions, they're going to judge you. They're going to judge you anyway, so you might as well make the post. I think a lot of people are like, I don't want to be cringy. And I think the idea of being cringe actually means that you're being courageous. So whatever blocks you from being like, don't delete your cringiness. Delete the thing that tells you that your cringiness is cringy. You are exactly, your ideas and everything else need to be seen in the world. Other people will have their opinions, and you have to learn how to like let that go.
You have to let that go. I think I got that. And you're very correct. Because there was a time like that when I was suffering from what you just mentioned, FOPO. All right. I was like, okay, what would they think and what would they say and all of these things. Then I just said, I've got to let all of those stuffs go, just like you mentioned it now. And I did what I have to do. And you're right. They will judge you anyways. And I just turned blind eyes to all of those stuffs. And it paid off. I got that. I could relate to that too. Okay, so how can one clarify one's message and audience?
Repeat the question. Sorry.
I said, how can one clarify one's message and audience?
Well, there's a couple ways you can clarify your message and clarify your audience. Number one, commit. I think so many people are trying to be known for too many things, and you can do it all. You just can't do it all at once. So pick one thing that you want to be known for and get that message of why you're an expert at that. What got you to that place? Get clear on that message. I always say your mess is your message. The stuff that got you to where you are is the stuff you want to tell. And your audience, really, you have to commit to a specific audience. Too many people are thinking about massive amounts of followers, but those people are not your ideal audience. So I always suggest people to create one person that you're speaking to in your content. And usually it's a version of yourself like 5 years ago. And when you get specific about that person, this is something I learned in my years as an actor, the more specific you are, the more people are going to believe you and buy into it. So know who you're speaking to and speak to that person in every piece of content, and give it a good 90-day trial before you decide that that's not working. Because social media is a long game, and too many people say, well, that post didn't hit, I got to totally change it. You need to give yourself more than just one post. You need to do 90 days of posting consistently before you get the data to change that.
Got that. Your mess is your message. I got that. Okay, last question. So for newbies, all right, is there a step-by-step guide to becoming a content creator?
Yeah, actually, I have a really fun, easy quiz that you can take. It's on my website that shows you the map that I took to get to become a full-time creator. So I moved away from acting. I'm now a full-time content creator and coach. And I built this map. It's actually based off of Disneyland, because I think creating a brand should be as fun as going to a theme park. So if you're interested in kind of seeing where you are on your path, the quiz will help you sort of assign where you are based off of your answers and give you some tools to help you up level wherever it is you are in your game.
That's a smart one. Thank you for creating that too, or the quiz. Okay, so to bring this to an end, Brett, what would you like to leave the audience with, like a final thought? And to those folks who would like to reach out to you or even ask questions about this content creation thing, it's a very important one right now. How can that be possible?
I think the thing that people need to remember is that people are looking for you. They don't know that you exist if you don't build a presence. And you might think nobody's looking for me. There's people who you bring something so unique and such a different voice to whatever niche, whatever market you're in. And the more you can really discover that and speak out about what makes you different, the more you're going to find those people who are your die hard, they need you. And while social media is going through its own transformation and will always be transforming and whatever's happening with it, remember that these platforms are free and they're accessible ways to meet people, connect with people, and help change the world. So you can come follow me at Bret Shuford on all the platforms. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. And you can come to my website, bretshuford.com. I have a bunch of fun resources there that are free, and I'd love to meet you.
Okay. So that's going to be the end of the show, Bret. Thank you for coming, and thank you for sharing this amazing stuff with us. It means a whole lot. Thank you so very much.